In current year entertainment media, a term that you may have heard is fanboy tears, toxic fandom, or toxic man babies. These phrases often are used when a group of fans of genre entertainment don't like a particular work of fiction, whether that be a film, TV series, video game, novel, or comic book. Usually these fans express their displeasure with said creative work in the form of social media posts, blog posts, and YouTube videos. The reaction from the people that enjoyed these works and the creatives behind these works is usually swift ad hominem name calling and labeling these people either haters or toxic. But what happens when those same fans that have been labeled toxic haters stop talking about the entertainment property altogether? Well, unfortunately, we have a few examples of this very phenomenon. Today, we are going to talk about a few of these examples and what happens when fans put the hate away and just stop caring. The first example is of Star Trek. Star Trek debuted in 1966 and has had many different incarnations since then, including 9 TV series, 13 films, countless comic book novels and toys, and 120 video games. Star Trek has been one of the longest lasting entertainment properties in history, yet currently due to mismanagement, ignoring the core fan base, and established canon, and the latest incarnations angering fans for multiple seasons, the toys sit on the shelves. New films have been scaled back or canceled, and the fans have become indifferent and moved on. Next, we have Star Wars, a franchise with 11 films, 12 TV series, 90 video games, and countless novels, comics, toys, and other merchandise. Yet currently, due to mismanagement, disrespecting the core fan base, and established canon and characters, and the latest incarnations disappointing fans and subverting their expectations, toys sit on shelves. Plans have been put into motion to ignore or outright retcon the most recent incarnations of the films, and new management has been put in place to correct the mismanagement of the IP from the previous regime, to bring back an indifferent fan base who has all but given up on the franchise as a whole, save for one popular series that has the IP on life support. You may say that these particular properties had their day and it's time for them to fade into history. However, let's juxtapose some fairly recent properties that have also garnered indifference from their considerable fan base. The Walking Dead is a comic book series that debuted in 2003 and has 193 issues, and at its peak consistently outsold popular titles from Marvel and DC, despite being an independent comic. It has spawned 3 TV series, 16 video games, and at the height of its popularity was the most popular show on television. Due to repetitive lackluster storytelling, mismanagement of the lore, and drastic deviations from the source material, viewership of the series was more than cut in half, and the core fan base has become indifferent to the existence of the original show or its spin-offs, and the fandom is a shadow of its former self. Last but not least, we have Game of Thrones. A Game of Thrones was the first book in the series A Song of Ice and Fire and debuted in 1996. The series has gone on to sell 90 million copies worldwide and spawned arguably the most popular cable TV series of all time, at its peak gaining 23 million viewers per episode. 12 video games, countless toys and comics, and other merch. Yet today, Blu-ray for the once juggernaut series remain unsold. Spin-off series have been canceled, and fans remember the series as a letdown. Why? Well, if you guessed mismanagement, ignoring the canon, and disrespecting the fans, causing fan indifference, you'd be correct. So what can stewards of beloved entertainment properties such as Marvel, DC, G.I. Joe, and even the most recent Masters of the Universe learn from these cautionary tales? Well, fellow content creator Eric July has a saying, monetize your haters. The only problem with this is that if your so-called haters also happen to be your core fans, then continuing to ignore their criticisms and take them for granted will ensure that you have no fans or haters to monetize. because abused fans don't become haters. They become indifferent and move on, because the opposite of love is indifference, and it is far worse than hate.